Welcome to the Long Run. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
What are we doing today?
Today we are going to be sharing our 10 most controversial grocery saving tips.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, number 1, we make monthly meal plans. And I know a lot of people are probably like, okay, first of all, they don't like meal plans.
Yeah.
They want more freedom with eating, and they feel like a meal plan is too structured. Our first note would be that we actually eat with a flexible meal plan because his work schedule changes.
Yep.
Like I can look at it a month in advance and say, oh, we're going to eat this on Thursday. But guess what? He comes home with his schedule the week before that Thursday and is like, oh no, I'll work that night. We're able to move things around and adjust. We also go back every weekend for fresh produce.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows us that if we have anything that we do switch around and decide to change, we can just make tweaks to what we buy at that fill-in haul.
Right.
So if you would like to see how we do our meal plan, be sure to check in the description because I've shown several times how I do this. I do this online and it is synced to our phones so that we both have our grocery list, and that meal plan just helps us make sure we're not buying duplicates, that we're not wasting food, that while we can change what we do with the ingredients that we buy, we at least have an idea what to buy when we go in the store. So we're not just reaching and grabbing for stuff randomly because we don't have any kind of direction in what we're doing.
All right, number 2 is don't trust unit cost. Our phrase is always do the math. Sometimes the unit cost for one item is different from the unit cost from the other because sometimes they're comparing per each to per item, and so or per ounce, and it kind of gets confusing. But you actually have to look at the label and then do the math on it to make sure what's less expensive.
Yeah, we've shown that several times in different videos, especially those shop with me videos that we do once a month in the grocery store, which we really hope that you will check out those videos because they show us price comparing. Number 3, don't assume that bulk is cheaper. We go to Sam's Club and we love Sam's Club. We know Costco is somewhat similar. BJ's Warehouse is somewhat similar to a Sam's Club. And what we see is that there's some good things in there that have good prices. There are also some things in there that do not have good prices, and you would make a better deal by getting it at Walmart or Aldi or somewhere else. So we don't assume anything with stores like Sam's Club that just because it's in Sam's Club that it has to be cheaper.
Also, number 4 is don't assume that generic is cheaper because that's not always the case. And like we said, do the math on the generic, the bulk, and on the unit cost, just to make sure that you're getting the right item at the right price at the right time.
Right. And we've shown that before too. Sometimes there'll be like 90% of the time it's going to be cheaper.
Yep.
But 10% of the time there could be something sitting there with a generic store label on it and it's not cheaper.
That's right.
It's even more expensive.
Right.
You'll see this recurring thing with us is always do the math, and the other one is never assume.
Yep.
So our 5th one is, this is going to be controversial, don't buy diet foods. Now, what we're saying is to read the ingredient labels, never purchase based on what it says on the front of a package, because while the ingredient label where the ingredients are written, I don't mean the nutrition facts, I mean underneath it where it says what the ingredients are, while that is correct information, what is on the front of the box can be misleading, and it can make you feel like because they use the right diet term that it has to be healthy, but they're not, those terms are not always regulated as well as they should be. And so they might slip in something that's maybe not that healthy, or it might be something as simple as I know this might upset some people, but the terminology organic on a box. One thing is that you have to watch out for is if you're trying to reduce sugar, buying a box of cereal with the words organic on it doesn't mean that it doesn't have sugar in it. It's organic sugar, but it's still sugar.
Yep.
And so if you're trying to reduce sugar, assuming that organic means it's healthy could be leading you into having organic cane sugar in your diet, and you didn't even think about it. So read those labels, and like I said, not just the nutrition facts. So what we would say is to learn how to cook as much as possible from scratch, especially if it's anything that isn't time consuming. That way you know what's in your food. So, focusing on the staples in your diet that you have to buy to make food yourself helps you stay into a healthy diet, as opposed to buying a lot of things that have healthy diet terms on it.
Number 6 is buy a variety of foods. You need a variety of foods to make eating more exciting. If you're tired of eating the same old things over and over and over again, like we were, 14 years ago, make it, get a variety of things. Look up recipes. Look up things that you'd like to try, and maybe try something new. That's what we've done. We've done try something new nights, and that's kind of expanded our repertoire of dishes that we eat, because we've tried something new from time to time. So you need a variety of foods to make eating more exciting and to get a better variety of nutrients in your diet.
And sometimes sticking with the same meal plan week after week after week after week means you're getting the same nutrients week after week after week after week. So sometimes you need to add a little variety just so that you're not getting the same nutrients every time. Number 7, don't waste money just to save money. And that may sound a little odd, but if you are using coupons or rebate apps to buy things just so that you can get a rebate, but you don't know what you're going to do with that food, but I can't miss it. I can't miss that opportunity. It said I'll get $2 back. Well, you're still spending money. You spent more than the $2 just to get $2 back, but you don't even know what you're doing with it. So don't waste money just to save money.
Number 8 is don't buy loss leaders or manager specials. Usually what they do is they do those to get you in the door, and then they want you to buy all your groceries there, and then you find out spending more money than you would if you had just gone somewhere else.
Now, I will say that if you do buy loss leaders or manager specials and you've done your research and you know that what they're offering is cheaper than you can get anywhere else because you actually did the research, and what we mean by is pull up an app like Walmart's app or somewhere like that, see what they're charging regularly, their regular price. If that loss leader or manager special beats that, then maybe you should. But not if you are just walking in and going, it's a loss leader, I have to buy it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's on sale. You're wasting money, just like with the coupon and rebate apps. Also, as another note with loss leaders and manager specials, we recently did a video that we shared that was Publix to Walmart price comparison. And one thing we noted was that almost all of the things that was in their buy one, get one free area was a pretty decent deal and probably would save you money, except for strawberries. We showed you could get strawberries cheaper at Walmart, and I'm pretty sure you could have gotten them cheaper at Aldi too. But it sounded like a really good deal because it was 3 pounds for $10. But Walmart and Aldi beat them in their regular prices. So never assume that. Also, a lot of the buy one, get one frees, or buy one and get two frees, or whatever that Publix had, were packaged things that we could have made cheaper, even with the discount. And another thing was a lot of the deals were brand names. And so generic might have been cheaper. And we showed that with the pasta choice that was there, was we could have gotten the exact same amount a pasta for only 98 cents in the Great Value brand at Walmart. And it was like $2 or something. $2.50, something like that. So you would spend about $1.25 per box. That would have been 98 cents at Walmart in the generic. So sometimes some of the loss leaders or manager specials actually may not be a good deal because they're brand names. So you have to do the math.
Yep.
And you have to never assume.
Yep, that's right.
All right. And our next one is don't just look at the Flip app or circulars. And what we're saying there is we are not saying the Flip app isn't a good app, and we're not saying it's not a good idea to look at the circulars. What we're saying is that should be a starting ground for you when you're deciding what to buy, where you look at it and you see, oh, that sounds like that would be a good price. Then actually look at the Walmart app and then look at the pull up Aldi. I think probably the only way you can look at that is if you put it as if you're through Instacart and see what they're charging, which may be still a little slightly higher than what it actually would be in the store. But if it's showing that it's cheaper on the Instacart app, it's probably cheaper actually in the store.
Yeah.
And so looking at both Aldi, Walmart, Lidl, or any kind of store like that in your area that's considered more of a discount store as opposed to like local grocery chains may help you avoid assuming that something in the Flip app has to be the best deal. Because the truth is, we've shown that you can take the price of chicken that was at I put it into the Flip app, and it was showing me that the cheapest chicken in my area was like $2.79, but at Aldi it was like $2.59 or something. It's been a little while since we did that video, but the point was that it couldn't price compare against because that particular week it wasn't on sale at Aldi and it wasn't in their circular. So if you make the assumption that if anything's in the Flip app is the cheapest thing that you can buy, and you don't check the normal everyday prices at places like Aldi and Walmart, you may actually be spending more for those things than you would have if you'd have just gone to Aldi or Walmart.
Yep. Number 10.
The most controversial thing you are going to hear today.
Yeah, don't just shop at Aldi. I know that's a thing people say. I do all my shopping at Aldi. You should do all your shopping at Aldi. Well, number one, Aldi isn't available to everyone. And those of you who are listening and watching us right now that say, I don't have an Aldi, we hear you. And we understand. You don't have an Aldi near you. We do. There was one when we lived in Houston. We had an Aldi that was 7 miles from us. If you know anything about Houston, go 7 miles in Houston takes you an hour and a half to get across town.
Yeah,
so,
and a lot of wear and tear on your car from constant stopping at red lights.
Maybe with their acquisition of Winn-Dixie stores here in the South, and maybe that'll change for a lot of people. But right now there's not. I know if we were to go back home where we live, I don't think there'd be an Aldi near where we were. So they just opened one.
They opened one in that state. That's Mississippi that he was saying, where we're from. And he was saying there's not one where he's from, his town. He's right. There's not. There's one in the town next to it, which is a little bit of a drive, but that's like they're rare.
Yeah.
There. That is probably the only one within a 45-minute drive. You'd probably have to drive another 45 minutes to get to another one.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do when we give tips is try to show you how to price compare overall, no matter what store you pick. And so like sometimes I feel like that's like an overused, like what's your number one tip for saving money at the grocery store? Go to Aldi's. And it's like, that's great if they have one.
Right.
And then as a second note to the Aldi point is that while probably 80% of the stuff in there is cheaper than you would spend anywhere else. There's still about 20% that may be not the best deal, especially when it comes to brand names. We've shown that a lot in our videos, is the brand names that you have to be careful about. Also, another way that you have to be careful is that if you're buying, Aldi has smaller package sizes. If you look at the bulk sizes somewhere like Sam's Club or even Walmart, you may realize that what you're buying is cheaper in bulk at a different store than it would be buying those individual sizes at Aldi. And we can give you an example. An 8-ounce block of cheese at Aldi is a few pennies cheaper than buying it at Walmart, unless you buy a 2-pound block of cheese at Walmart and then cut it up and put it in the freezer. And then you're going to save money because it's going to be probably 10 or so cents cheaper than buying it at Aldi. Now, are we saying that you should drive out of your way to save 10 cents? No. But if you know, when you look at your list of stores that you're going to be going to, and you know there's something that you have to buy and it's not at Aldi, and you're going to have to go to Walmart, Sam's Club, or some other grocery store across the street, and you're not price comparing and making sure that Aldi is actually cheaper before you just pick it up and throw it in your cart, then you could be spending more money than you have to.
Yep.
If you already have to go to a different store, why not make sure you're making the best purchase at each store? We don't see a whole lot of price comparing going on in the store and making sure that they're actually buying the cheapest price. And really, we don't see that in any store. We rarely see anybody stop and pull out their phone to open up their calculator. And all of our smartphones have a calculator on it, or you can take an actual literal one in the store with you. Another caveat to Aldi is, I think because the stuff is cheaper, people feel like they're more in. I could be wrong. You can tell me in the comments below. They're more conditioned to buy things that they didn't really need on the Aldi aisle of shame, or in the freezer section, prepared frozen meals, than they would have, but they feel a little more freedom to spend it because they think they saved money, but then they end up walking out of the store spending more than they would have at another store because that cheaper price tag made them feel more freedom to just reach and grab and go, oh, look, they've got ice cream sandwiches. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with buying ice cream sandwiches if you wanted it, but were you planning on buying it? Or was that like a spur of the moment, I've done so good with my budget, I'm going to buy these two. And then on the aisle of shame, you're looking and you're going, you know, here's some leggings on sale. I'm going to buy the leggings. Like, I know I didn't come in here to buy leggings, but and I'm not saying you necessarily should buy leggings, but was it in your budget? Like, and that's the only problems that we see. We go to Aldi all the time. We're not trying to be mean toward Aldi. We're just saying that sometimes the belief that Aldi is cheaper than everything else causes people to spend more money than they think they will, than they plan to.
All right. Well, tell us if you have any controversial grocery saving tips. We'd love to hear those in the comments below. Also, if you were surprised by any of our tips, just let us know that in the comments as well. We're going to put a video up here that you can click after we say the thing we always say. That's going to do it today for the long run. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christine.
Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace.